We are the educators of the Cyril Potter College of Education, attached at the Breeding Hoop Center, AD Primary Year 2, Semester 5. Today, my colleagues, Ms. Lisa Ramprasad, Ms. Roshni Sukraj, and myself, Alicia Rafik, will be interviewing Pastor Roger, our local civic leader. Hi, Pastor Roger. My name is Alicia Rafik, and I will be interviewing you in some questions. Can you tell me a bit about your background and what will you do to get involved in civic leadership?
Okay, thank you very much, Alicia. So, my parents were involved in community activities, and that triggered my interest. And eventually, as a child, I had a passion to help and to make a difference in the community. That led me to pursue studies in theology. So I spent like 4 years studying theology. It wasn't my intention to become a pastor, but I started doing volunteer activities in the community and local church and so on. And eventually, there was a post opening for the senior position, and I was asked to take up that position. And that is how I eventually took up that position and started involved in these kinds of activities.
My name is Lisa Ramprasad, and I will be asking you the same question. What are the key events or experiences that have shaped your commitment to community advocacy?
Okay, one of the things that shaped my commitment to community advocacy is my experiences with injustice. And as a youth, I used to be involving in camps organized by the Ministry of Culture, and we had the opportunity to work with young people in different areas, different locations, and it is evident that many people suffer injustices in different areas. For example, some areas you go, children do not have access to education easily. It's a challenge when it comes to transportation, resources, technology, and all of those things. Alright, so I know that injustice is a broad subject, but generally that is one of the main things that actually influence my involvement in this advocacy area. So there are many other areas when it comes to injustice, but I will not expound on all of those at the moment. But generally, the main thing is injustice, which I've seen and experienced in our society.
Thank you very much, and I'll now hand you over to Ms. Rose.
You're welcome.
Roger, your third question for this afternoon is, what motivates you to continue your work in advocating for policy change or community development?
Okay, one of the things that, some of the things I should say that motivates me is the satisfaction I receive from seeing people being helped, from seeing situations being changed. So, yeah, I think that's one of the main important things, satisfaction. Alright, you help people who are in need, and when you see how fulfilling it could be to them, it's like rewarding. Alright, so yeah, that's what it is.
Alright, so over to your fourth question. Can you describe some of the major projects or initiatives you have worked on recently?
Okay, some of the major projects that I've worked on is we have introduced a love basket in our community, whereby we purchase goods for less fortunate families, single parents and so on, and we will distribute that. During the month of September, concluding August, opening September, we would usually buy school supplies for children who come from poor families and so on. So that is something that I'm really proud about. And secondly, we have embarked on a building project, which we are hoping to utilize for the community. That building will house like an educational center where people from the community can come and learn different trades, they can learn to read, they can do computer courses and so on. So those are two important projects which I've embarked on.
Alright, thank you so much. Now moving on to Miss Lisa.
Long-term goals for your advocacy work.
Okay, so my long-term goals, one of the things I want to see happen is for more people to be involved in civil advocacy. And so I want to see leaders raise up in different locations who can take up that responsibility and begin to advocate for different situations. So that is one of my long-term goals, to raise up leaders, and the other thing is to see more centers being established also. Thank you.
Pastor Roger, your sixth question is, what challenges have you faced in your efforts to create change, and how have you overcome them?
All right. Some of the challenges is getting people to buy into the vision. So sometimes it is not always easy to influence people. So, for example, I may approach my leader with an idea. Everybody might not be willing to support that idea. So that is one of the challenges, getting people to buy into the vision. So if they do not buy into the vision, it will not be effective. So I try to influence them. So I try to use different strategies so that we can have a strong connection where it's not just a few individuals, but where we have support from an entire leadership, an entire body of people. And yeah, so those are some of the ways that I overcome that. Is I build strong connections again. I try to, you know, when with my leaders, I don't isolate nobody, I don't exclude anyone. I listen to everybody and make them feel that they are valued and they are respected. And so when they know that they are valued and they are respected, they feel free to express themselves. And so those are some of the ways that I overcome that challenge.
Thank you, Rick. Can you share any stories or examples of individuals or groups who have benefited from your advocacy?
No problem. So some of the people who benefit is I remember one particular example. There was a young lady whose mother has a mental disorder, as well as she has a physical disability, and the child was not enrolled in secondary school after the grade 6 exam. We learned about that, and we eventually visited that family. We enrolled the child. We purchased everything that she needed for school, and we supported that child in her secondary education. So she would have benefited directly, and the elderly from the community, definitely they benefit from the Love Basket initiative.
Alright, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Pastor Roger, for answering our interview questions. We really appreciate your time.
Okay, you're welcome.